What if I told you that the person you are today is just the starting point, and not your final form? That deep within you, there's a version of yourself waiting to be uncovered, stronger, wiser, more aligned with your true purpose. Personal growth isn't about becoming someone else. It's about remembering who you were meant to be. It's about peeling back the layers of fear, doubt, and distraction, until what's left is clarity, courage, and authenticity. But how do we get there? Oh, the journey of becoming your best self doesn't happen by accident. It requires awareness, intention, and above all, consistent action. In this video, we'll walk through 7 essential pillars of personal growth, not just as abstract ideas, but as practical, powerful tools you can use starting today. From mastering your emotions to shaping a mindset that thrives on challenge, from setting goals that align with your deepest values to taking care of your body and soul. This is your roadmap. Whether you're just starting your journey or already deep in the work, these 7 aspects are timeless, transformative, and entirely within your reach. So take a breath, and let's begin the path to becoming the person you were always meant to be. First is self-knowledge, understanding your emotions, values, strengths, and weakness. Let's start with the foundation of it all. Self-knowledge. You can't grow if you don't know who you are. It's like trying to build a house without first studying the ground you're building on. You might get a few walls up, but one storm and everything collapses. Self-knowledge means having the courage to look inward, to ask the hard questions. Not just what do I want, but why do I want it? Take the story of Oprah Winfrey. Before becoming a global icon, she faced a difficult childhood marked by poverty and trauma. But what set her apart wasn't just talent, it was her commitment to understanding herself. Through journaling, therapy, and deep inner work, she uncovered not just her pain, but her strength, her calling. That clarity became her compass. When you know your values, really know them, decision-making becomes easier. You stop chasing things that aren't aligned with your soul. You stop people-pleasing and start self-leading. And understanding your emotions. That's emotional literacy. It means recognizing the difference between anger and fear, between sadness and shame. It's what turns emotional reactions into conscious responses. In practice, this could look like journaling for 10 minutes a day. Not just about what happened, but how you felt and why. Taking personality assessments like the Enneagram or MBTI, not to box yourself in, but to start noticing patterns, or simply asking yourself at the end of each day, where did I act out of alignment today? What triggered me, and what truth was behind it? Self-knowledge in self-judgment. It's self-curiosity. And the more curious you get about yourself, the less power your unconscious patterns have over your life, because in the end, the person who truly knows themselves is uncheckable. They don't need approval, applause, or permission. They walk their own path because they finally know where it starts. To end. Skill development, learning new competencies like communication, resilience, and time management. Let's face it, motivation fades, good intentions come and go, but skills stay. The second pillar of personal growth is about becoming capable, not just inspired. It's the difference between dreaming of change and actually creating it. Think about someone like Angela Duckworth, the psychologist who wrote Grit. She didn't just study talent, she studied what makes people stick with things when they get hard. The answer, not genius, not luck. Resilience. Communication, discipline, time management. These are learned abilities, and that means they're available to everyone. Look at Elon Musk. Love him or hate him, there's no denying his drive. He didn't start with deep knowledge of rocket science or electric cars. He taught himself, reading, experimenting, failing, refining. That's skill development in action. Or J.K. Rowling, who wrote Harry Potter as a single mom on welfare. Her ability to manage her time, persist through rejection, and stay focused on her craft is a masterclass in mental resilience. Let's break this down into something practical: communication. Take a public speaking course, join Toastmasters, practice active listening. Most people don't communicate, they just wait for their turn to speak. Learning to truly connect is a superpower. Resilience. Reframe failure. Every setback is feedback. Keep a resilience. Journal where you document challenges and how you bounce back. Time management. Use tools like the Pomodoro technique or the Eisenhower matrix. But more importantly, learn to say no to what doesn't serve your goals. The truth is, you don't rise to the level of your potential. You fall to the level of your preparation. So ask yourself, what's one skill you've been avoiding because it feels uncomfortable or overwhelming? Now flip the script. What would your life look like a year from now if you had that skill mastered? Growth happens when you stop wishing and start building. Third, growth mindset. Believing you can evolve through effort and persistence. There are two types of people in the world: those who say, I'm just not good at this, and those who say, I'm not good at this. Yet, that one word, yet, can change the entire trajectory of your life. This is what psychologist Carol Dweck called a growth mindset. It's the belief that your abilities are not fixed, that you're not born smart or talented. You become smart and talented through learning, practice, and patience. Think about Michael Jordan. Did you know he was cut from his high school basketball team? Most people would have taken that as a sign to quit. Jordan took it as a challenge. He doubled down on his training, sharpened his mindset, and became arguably the greatest player of all time. Or consider Thomas Edison, who famously said, I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. That mindset didn't just lead to the invention of the light bulb. It lit the way for generations of innovators. But this isn't just about big names. Imagine a student struggling in math. A fixed mindset says, I'm bad at math. A growth mindset says, I haven't figured it out yet, but I can improve. That shift leads to extra studying, asking for help, trying different strategies, and that effort creates results. So how do you build a growth mindset in your daily life? Start by reframing failure. Every time something doesn't go your way, ask, what can I learn from this? Celebrate effort, not just outcome. Progress ain't always visible, but it's always valuable. Surround yourself with people who challenge you, not just cheer for you. The truth is, a growth mindset isn't just a belief. It's a decision to show up, even when things get hard. To lean into the discomfort of learning. To replace I can't with I'm learning. How? Because greatness doesn't come from who you are. It comes from who you're willing to become. Fourth, emotional intelligence. Managing emotions and relationships in a healthy way. Imagine this. You're in traffic. You're late. Someone cuts you off. Your heart races. Your hands tighten on the wheel. Now, do you react or do you respond? That split second, that tiny space between impulse and action, that's emotional intelligence. Psychologist Daniel Goleman, who popularized the concept, said that success in life is only 20% IQ and 80% emotional intelligence. In other words, being smart isn't enough. You have to be self-aware, emotionally agile, and relationally wise. Let's take a real example. Fred Rogers, the beloved host of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. He was calm, kind, and emotionally present. But make no mistake, that wasn't weakness, that was mastery. He once said, feelings are mentionable and manageable. Emotional intelligence ain't about suppressing emotions. It's about understanding them, naming them, choosing what to do with them. Consider the difference it makes in leadership. A manager with low emotional intelligence reacts with anger, micromanages, blames others. A leader with high emotional intelligence listens, regulates their tone, reads the room, and inspires trust. Or think about relationships. Someone who knows how to express their needs clearly, set boundaries without guilt, and empathize with others. That's not just attractive, It's powerful. So how do we build this in real life? Pause before reacting. When emotions surge, take a breath. Ask, what am I really feeling right now? Practice active listening. Don't just wait for your turn to speak. Listen to understand, not to reply. Use I statements instead of blame. I feel unheard is very different from you never listen. Reflect regularly. Journaling your emotional triggers can help you recognize patterns and heal past wounds. Emotional intelligence, what turns conflict into connection. It's what turns chaos into clarity. And perhaps most importantly, it's the skill that helps you stay true to yourself, even when your emotions try to take the wheel, because you're not meant to be ruled by your feelings. You're meant to ride with them with grace, courage, and clarity. Fifth, goals and purpose. Setting objectives aligned with your values. Let me ask you something personal. Are your goals really yours, or were they handed to you? So many people chase success, money, or recognition, only to reach the top and feel empty. Why? Because the ladder they climbed was leaning against the wrong wall. Goals without purpose are just pressure. But when your goals align with your values, every step forward feels meaningful, not just productive. Take Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor and psychiatrist who wrote Man's Search for Meaning. Even in the darkest of human suffering, he observed one truth: those who have a why to live can bear almost anyhow. Purpose gives pain a place. It turns setbacks into lessons. Or look at Malala Yousafzai, shot at age 15 simply for wanting an education. She survived, not just physically, but spiritually. Today, her goal is clear: fight for girls' right to education worldwide. Her purpose gave her voice power. Setting aligned goals means asking deeper questions. What truly matters to me? Even if no one claps for it, what kind of life feels honest, not just impressive? Who do I want to serve, and why? Here's a practical approach. Define your core values. Pick 5 that resonate with your soul, not your ego. Think integrity, growth, creativity, service. Write goals that reflect those values. If you value health, don't just say lose weight. Say build a life that honors my body. Break big goals into micro steps. Purpose gives you direction, but habits give you traction. And remember, goals aren't about proving yourself to the world. They're about becoming someone you're proud to live with. So don't chase purpose like it's out there somewhere. Bring it into what you do, into how you show up, into the way you speak, work, love, and lead. Because when your actions reflect your values, life stops being just a to-do list and becomes a mission. Sixth, health and well-being. Taking care of your body and mind. Exercise, nutrition, meditation. You only get one home for your soul in this lifetime, your body. Yet so many people treat it like an afterthought. They chase success, hustle nonstop, stay up late grinding, and then wonder why they feel burned out, anxious, or empty. But here's the truth: you can't evolve if your foundation is falling apart. Health is not just about avoiding disease. It's about creating the energy, clarity, and presence you need to live with purpose. Look at someone like Tony Robbins. Behind the energy and stage presence is an intense commitment to physical health. Ice baths, strict nutrition, breathing techniques, movement. Why? Because the body is the fuel for the mission. Or take Naval Ravikant, the tech investor and philosopher. He once said, "A fit body, a calm mind, and a house full of love. These things cannot be bought. They must be earned. True well-being is earned, day by day, through exercise," which isn't about aesthetics. It's about moving stagnant energy, boosting mood, and honoring your biology through nutrition, not as restriction, but as self-respect, choosing food that sustains you rather than numbs you, through meditation, not as some spiritual trend, but as a daily reset, a way to quiet the noise and remember who you are. Want to start small? Go for a 20-minute walk each morning, without your phone. Replace one processed meal with something whole and colorful. Sit in silence for just 5 minutes a day. Just breathe, just be. These tiny choices compound. And here's the most powerful part. When you take care of your body, your mind thinks clearer, your emotions stabilize, and your spirit becomes stronger. It's all connected, because your body is not just a machine, it's the vessel of your potential. Treat it with reverence, and it will carry you further than any goal ever could. 7th, overcoming limitations. Facing fears and stepping outside your comfort zone. Growth never happens where it's safe. It happens where you're uncertain, a little scared, and bold enough to move forward anyway. This is the 7th and perhaps most defining pillar of personal growth. Overcoming limitations, the inner walls we build to keep ourselves comfortable, even when comfort is slowly suffocating us. Fear doesn't always look like panic. Sometimes it looks like procrastination. Sometimes it looks like staying busy with things that don't matter. Sometimes it sounds like, I'm not ready yet. What if I fail? What will they think of me? But here's the truth. Your comfort zone is not your friend. It's a cozy prison, beautifully decorated with excuses. Look at David Goggins, former Navy SEAL and ultra-endurance athlete. He wasn't born fearless. He was abused, overweight, and full of self-doubt. But he learned that growth lives on the other side of discomfort. His motto, suffering is the true test of life. Or consider Susan Cain, the quiet introvert who wrote Quiet, a global bestseller about the power of introversion. Public speaking terrified her, yet she faced it. Her TED Talk has now been watched over 40 million times. Facing fear doesn't mean erasing it. It means walking with it, letting it come along for the ride, but not letting it take the wheel. So how can you start breaking your own limitations? Do one thing every week that makes you uncomfortable. Speak up in a meeting. Try something new. Start the thing you've been putting off. Redefine fear as data, not danger. Fear often points to where your soul wants to grow. Journal your limiting beliefs, then write the opposite beside them. Train your mind to question its own walls. Remember, courage is in the absence of fear. It's the decision that something else, your growth, your purpose, your truth, matters more. The edge of your comfort zone, that's where the real you is waiting. And once you step beyond it, you don't just find growth, you find freedom. Becoming who you are meant to be. Growth is not a destination. It's not something you arrive at, or a badge you earn. It's a way of living, a commitment to becoming a little more aware, a little more aligned, a little more alive every day. You now have the 7 pillars, not as a checklist, but as a compass. Self-knowledge to understand who you are. Skill building to become what you're capable of. A growth mindset to break through limits. Emotional intelligence to lead with heart. Purpose-driven goals to walk your truth. Health and well-being to sustain the journey. And the courage to leave comfort behind, again and again. The world doesn't need more perfection. It needs more people awake, brave, and in motion. So, if this message spoke to you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who's on this path. Leave a comment, subscribe, hit the like button. Not just for the algorithm, but because you believe in the kind of transformation we're building together here. And remember, you are not meant to stay the same. You are meant to rise, to expand, and to become the person only you can be. Your journey has already begun. Now, keep walking.